Hi guys. So it's another story time. Let's get right into it. So this story is from a Jabba writer on X. How I paid a huge fine for touching my neighbor's wife's underwear. It rained heavily that afternoon, and since I was at home, I helped my neighbor pack their clothes from the line so they wouldn't get soaked. When they got back later that evening, I handed over the clothes. The wife thanked me, collected everything, and went inside. A few minutes later, she came back out with her husband, looking scared. The man asked me why I packed his wife underwear. At first, I thought he was joking. I explained I wasn't sorting through anybody's clothes. I simply packed everything that was outside because the rain was pouring. She and I had washed our clothes that morning and used the same line. Before I knew it, he started shouting. He said it was a taboo for a single man to touch her or see his wife's underwear. According to him, I should have left her bras and pants outside in the rain, packed every other item, and then gone to find the woman to help with the rest. I was too shocked to even respond. I looked at the wife, hoping she'd say something, since this is not the first time I had done something like this, although I had never packed her on this before. Omo, this woman couldn't even look me in the eye. The man kept going. He said I wanted to sleep with his wife. He asked why else I would touch a married woman's bra and panties. At this point, neighbor had started coming outside. Even the landlord was the first to come out. Since I moved into that compound, I had never been that embarrassed. Me that normally minds my business, I was so ashamed that I stopped talking completely. The landlord even asked the man what could be done to settle the matter. The man paused dramatically, looked at me, looked at the landlord, and then announced that according to their tradition, I would have to provide one goat, one white fowl, two tubers of yam, and pay 100,000 naira. Bro, let me not comment. I honestly thought everybody would laugh because this must be some kind of joke or prank. Omo, nobody laughed though. The landlord actually turned to me and begged me to accept it for the sake of peace. I told him I don't have 100k. The man said, yeah, because of the landlord, I can pay 80k. I said, even if he arrests me, they will not see 80k. After another round of negotiations, they finally brought it down to 50k. But the husband insisted I must buy the goat, fowl, and yam so that they could perform the cleansing ritual that was required. I was exhausted at this point. Everybody in my street and neighbors were staring at me. That was how I followed this man to the market, bought the goat, bought the fowl, bought the yam, and transferred 50k to him. Immediately the money entered, his entire mood changed. He started smiling, started explaining. He said it wasn't personal. He had nothing to do with me. He had nothing against me. He knew I wasn't interested in his lazy ass wife that could not come outside to pack her own clothes. It was just tradition, bros. We just need to appease the gods. That's all he said. I didn't even answer him. I just went my way. I went to my room and laughed, eh? I laughed at the whole situation. 2 weeks later, this man had a serious disagreement with the landlord. The next thing I heard from the landlord, he was shouting that he must leave his house because he is wicked. Apparently, after everything he collected from me, he agreed to share the goat, chicken, and money with the landlord. The agreement was simple. The landlord would get the goat head, one leg, and a full lap of chicken and half of the cash. In the end, my neighbor only gave him the goat and the chicken's head. No money, nothing. Why no be say you wan do ritual na? Wetin landlord wan do with goat head and chicken head? The landlord was furious. He kept shouting, what will I do with goat head and chicken head? Am I a ritualist? Actually. Immediately he came to my room and wanted to come inside. I refused. He pleaded and said he has something to say, so we should go inside. I sha said, whatever he has to say, he should say it outside. He nodded and said he understood. Then he began confessing. He said my neighbor had approached him before confronting me. That the man said he didn't have money for Salah and saw an opportunity. The landlord admitted he said he shouldn't have joined them. But the goat meat had become expensive and he hadn't eaten goat or chicken in a long time. To make matters worse, his wife too had been disturbing him for money. So he apologized and said he had no choice that I should forgive him. As soon as the landlord left, the landlady quietly stepped out of my bathroom. Wait. As soon as the landlord left, the landlady quietly stepped out of my bathroom where she had been hiding all along. Bro, he did not landlord wife. Her hands were literally shaking as she wore her clothes. For a few seconds, both of us just stood there staring at each other before bursting out into nervous laughter. Jesus, that was closed, she said. She gave me a quick kiss, thanked me for the good time, and promised to send the 250k I had asked her before. I closed my door, sat on my bed, and texted my neighbor wife. You can come in now, the door is open. Bachelor. Errora, only you landlord wife, only you again, your neighbor's wife. That's a big deal, oh. But I mean, enjoy now. So enjoy yourself.